So I'm going to get these strawberries from this weedy bed before I finish the tomatoes. I've got to say, this is the biggest and the best strawberries I think I have ever grown. And all from this patch of weeds. These strawberries didn't even do this good last year when I did keep it more weeded. I think the weeds definitely help with the competition. And I don't see any slug bites, which is amazing. I think this is good for now. Yeah, so I've read or heard people say that you should, your second year strawberries will do the best. So I didn't know what that meant. But this is the second year these strawberries have been in this bed. I don't know how old the strawberries are half the time. The ones that have a weedier, not weedier, but woodier stem, I think are older. So I did try to plant younger plants in here, and so yeah, and like I said, they didn't do as well last year. Nothing like this. And then maybe the weeds really did help them. It's amazing because how tall the strawberries get. They definitely can produce bigger strawberries. So if you remember, I transplanted some of these strawberries here into the greenhouse over there, and they're struggling. Let's go check it out. So these are the same strawberries from the same bed. They're not so happy here. I transplanted them at the wrong time, of course. I knew that, but I was planning on kind of letting them sit in here for a year. And the transplant caused them to ripen their fruit pretty quickly. It was also pretty hot, but yeah, so they're struggling. I don't know, they're definitely not going to produce like the other ones. So anyway, I'm trying to learn, and I just can't believe those strawberries. There's one more bed we should take a look at and see, because they I believe are the same as this bed. I weeded out the older ones, kept the newer ones. So let's go see what they're doing over there. Okay. This one is full of weeds as well. I checked it the other day and I didn't see anything red. Maybe they've just all started to ripen now. I saw some berries, but not as many as the other over there. Okay, let's take a look. I see some in there. It's just full of weeds. There's some red ones. So yeah, these are a good size as well. I'll have to come over here and harvest these. Just a weedy bed. But there's tons of strawberry plants in here. Yeah, I haven't been able to get to weeding them. So we'll see how this bed fares, but so far I'm really happy about that. Alright, I'm going to get back to planting the rest of the tomatoes. Okay, so I do think the strawberries, right? The second year that they're in a bed, when you take the small runners and transplant them to a new bed, the second year that they're in that bed, they're going to do great. I don't think they would have gotten as big still without the weeds, which, you know, is kind of annoying because I do like to have a pretty looking bed. And another problem that I have is that I was going to plant corn in that bed. So I'm going to have to think about that. Maybe I can plant the corn to see if I weed that bed. Those strawberries are probably going to look like those that I transplanted. I mean, they're not going to be transplanted, so they're not going to go through all that stuff, but they don't have the other weeds to help them stand up taller. So I've got a little dilemma here. I've got plenty of other beds. I could plant the corn on. I could plant corn right here. Maybe that's what I'll do. But again, I have to dig. Yeah. I have yet to grow enough strawberries for the whole year. We love strawberries too much. We eat too many. Even when we have been able to freeze a bunch, they still don't last us all year. these tiers, the wood on these tiers is rotting. It's time to replace them. And that's not going to happen. I don't know when that's going to happen. So maybe I can do it as I go. That's a challenge for me.